Okay, hello people. Here we are live again. It's the second live stream from today, Sunday, 14th of October. So, welcome to the show, and let's start with a new guest, a special guest to this live stream. This is my German friend, and I will give him the voice now that he can tell you who he is, and then let's see what we will talk about. So, welcome.
Yeah. Hi. Hi, Hans. Hi, world. Yeah. What's up, world? Long time. Didn't talk to you. Yeah. My name is Peter Lloyd. 24 years old. Unemployed right now. And yeah, pretty much don't really give a fuck about really being employed because it's just a win-win situation for the bosses and a lose situation for me. Right now, I'm living with my parents. I'm not the sexy go out with material guy. I'm called a thinker, a conspiracy theorist of my own making. Um, I look at the world with a different view than most people. I have been doing this since I've been capable of thinking. It got me into a lot of trouble. Yeah, got me into some pretty deep shit. Got out of it. Did my schooling that was sufficient for my diplomas. And yeah, right now I'm unemployed for about 2 years straight now, doing like social work, helping out people.
Great.
Yeah, trying to survive, hustling. Yeah, well,
Yeah, life is hard. So you live in Germany. In which country? Which country? I say. In which part of Germany are you?
uh, it's a little, yeah, it's tiny. Can't even call it a city. It's smaller than a city.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's a little blob somewhere in Germany that they call town, I guess. They call it the town.
The town.
And it's called Zweibrücken, and it's in the state Rheinland-Pfalz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't know if I pronounce it so the American people understand it, but Ramstein Air Base is right there in that
okay. So I think,
state.
yeah, people will know where
Now
it
you
is.
know where I live.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Please don't come and get me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's so great that you are talking who you really are. That you're not like an anonymous person. I mean, I do the same. People know who I am, and I don't fear anybody. Because yeah, this is who I am, and I don't like to lie because all the life is a big lie sometimes. People are lying to each other. People don't speak the truth. They not even want to know the truth. So I mean, it's time that we are standing for what we are doing. That we are, yeah, being together
Yes, definitely,
in this
definitely.
fight. Exactly.
To a certain degree, self-defense of your own so-called privacy on the web is just a joke.
Yeah.
There is almost no real big privacy unless you really know what you're doing, and
Yeah.
that's very
Yeah.
seldom
Yeah.
the case online.
Okay. Talking about you, about your life, that people also know a little bit more about you. Maybe they can identify also themselves and say, yeah, same happened to me or happened to me in the past, whatever. When did you notice that something is wrong with society or with your life?
Um,
How old were you? I don't know if you can
I,
tell
I,
us.
I was about 9 years old, sitting in school and not even knowing what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to sit there, keep my mouth shut, my ears open, and my eyes open,
Mm-hmm.
so I could learn. That was like the first rule of life, and I tried to follow it as good as I could. But there were situations where it just couldn't control the urge to question, why am I doing this? What is the reason behind this? Why? Why do I have to?
Mm-hmm.
Like, sit still on your chair. Why? I'm totally coped up kid with all this energy in me, and be quiet, sit down. It's crazy. It's a society tried to shape me so bad, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what was going on, but it was too late when I figured out, I guess, what was going on with me. And yeah, it screwed me up, and I screwed myself up too,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much.
Yeah. So you were 11 years old?
Yeah, 11 years when I got diagnosed with all kinds of sicknesses.
Oh wow. Yeah. What happened? Tell us a little bit more about diagnosed.
Oh,
How can I
what
understand that?
happened? I was at school and I got home and I had to go to a hospital. And I stayed in the hospital for about 4 months, and I was diagnosed with ADHS. Does it ring a bell? Or
Uh,
ADHS?
I don't
Yeah,
know. What is
attention
it?
deficit hyperactive syndrome.
Oh.
And yeah, Ritalin didn't work on me. I had to take I don't really know all the names anymore. It was pretty high dosage, not the usual kind. It had to be long term active and all this shit. And it just robbed me of my personality. That's what I felt like.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I switched to an alternative, and I still use that alternative. And I think everybody who's on my Facebook page or ever seen my Facebook page knows what that alternative is. And yeah, it's a whole lifestyle associated to my kind of sickness, and people having conditions, and people needing treatment for their conditions, and yes, they have conditions and they have sicknesses, and it's all sickness, and I don't really know. It's a big fucking business for all those sick people not having the money to pay their physicians, or who the heck invented all those sicknesses.
Yeah, that's really true. And I guess they gave you medicine because they thought because you're different, you feel different, you are sick.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
they gave you medicine, right?
yeah. But I don't really know all the names. It was something similar to, you would call it LSD,
Oh
but
my
it was
god.
modified for my special sickness. And it happened. But well, shit happens in the world, right? And it happens for a reason. We learn out of mistakes that happen,
Mm-hmm.
and we look forward
Yeah, we have to
and
go.
take everything
Mhm.
that happened to us with us, and yeah, carry it on with us, and tell the people and show them who we really are, what we really think, what the system is all about. Because I don't know, it's undescribable as one individual to try to describe. This is my life. This is what happened. Look at it at your own way. I can dispose all the truth and untruth. I can't differentiate between them. It's
Mhm.
it's my life. I can just give it to you, and you can look at it out of your own perspective. I can't
Mhm.
change the way you look at my words that come out of my mouth. I can't.
Yeah.
Many
Yeah.
many people say it's impossible. It will never work.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
They're the
the fight
losers.
against the system is lost, and we're all already living in a pretty much technocratic society.
Mm-hmm.
It's over.
Yeah.
Keep on dreaming. It's nice to dream, but it's actually over.
Yeah.
That's what so many people keep on telling me, and it's depressing. It's very depressing.
Yeah, because
That
they already gave up. I mean, they lost the feeling. They don't have the heart anymore to or their how you say the character to uh, be in front of the problem. They are just walking around the problem, but we need to go inside to fix the problem to go to the solutions, you know. And yeah, I understand that. It happened also to me when I post things. They say, yeah, but what can we do? What can we do? I mean, everything is up to us, you know. If we don't do anything, nothing will change. In fact, you know. So we have to do something, and we have to come together. This is also why I do all this here, the live streams, posting like a machine on my Facebook to wake the people up, because life could be beautiful. I see it by myself now. I'm living on my own. I don't have any rulers, you know, even if there's a government, but I don't care. I mean, they don't care about me either. They don't help me. They don't give me money to survive. So I have to work whatever I can do, you know, to survive on this planet. So yeah, people have to get stronger. They have to, yeah, follow maybe you and me. We did it. We are now yeah, independent maybe. I don't know how to
Nah, I
call
wouldn't
this.
say that I'm too independent right here. I'm pretty much living off my parents and with my parents. It's
Yeah, it's because
kind of
there's
a
no
sad
money.
situation that I'm in. I'm trying to every job or every work I get is like money in my pocket and directly out of my pocket for my own spending. It's like unrealistic.
Yeah,
They're like the H.A.A.R.P right now, and it's like,
yeah.
what the F is going on? There's like no work. Come on, we just don't have the money. It's just such an unrealistic world out there that they're looking for people with so much education,
Hmm.
and they have to be 20 years old and have the education of a 60-year-old man. Hello, wake up!
Yeah, it's not possible. Yeah, it's the same here. If you're looking for work, they say from 18 years until 35 years. But there are so many people older than 35 years who are looking for getting some money, a good work, and they're not even accepted because of the age. You know, it's just a paper what is counting here, and millions of people homeless or without income. You know, I mean, it's so wrong. We have to see also the future. What will happen with all those people like you, like me, and the other millions, if they can, if they are not even accepted in society, or how you say, refused when they say
That, that's
you don't work
that's the whole
anymore for us.
problem.
Yeah, this is
We are society. There is
yeah.
no unacceptable person in society. That
Mhm.
person is society.
Exactly, we are all part of it. Yeah, yeah, and
So if I hear people say the bad politics, the bad bankers, and the bad people in this world, the the, the rapists and everybody that's bad, they say he won't work for or peace. He will work against our peace, our unity, and everything and all that. And I'm saying, but what drives those people to all those weird and awkward behaviors? Is our society
mhm,
trying to push that this behavior it's abnormal? It's completely abnormal. No, it's proven that under pressure, people behave very differently when they're well fed, well clothed. It's society that pressures us into those molds, the baking molds I call them.
mhm.
we're like, oh no, a little bit too much sugar. He's going to have a sickness. That's not good. We're like, how should I call it? Little gingerbread men,
Mhm.
and we all have our stigmatas, and we just sprinkle them about like confetti. Thinking that politicians are in office because we elect them there and because we think that they can change anything for us.
Mhm.
The notion is just wrong. I think the best quote that there ever existed on this planet was from George Carlin.
Oh,
I don't really know if George Carlin here.
You had a hard childhood, and what then? What happened after that happened when you were 11 years? How continued your life? What did you do?
Yeah, I went to school like every normal person does, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was not a school for so-called normal persons. It was a school for special persons. Yeah, that's what they called it.
Yeah.
There were pretty much a bunch of people from all social to non-social classes, all jumbled together. Kids from homes, kids without parents, and so forth. And yeah, it was a pretty roughed up place. It was like everybody was trying to beat each other up, and it was like the normal school, but with shivs and shit.
Hmm.
It's like a homemade knife. It's not like butterflies and all the flashy shit. It's like the prison style shit.
Yeah. Oh my God. So
A little bit crazy.
yeah, and you made some friends there. You, I mean,
Uh, I wouldn't say really friends. No, no, no friends there.
yeah.
They were pretty much out of the box crazy, driven by society to the edge of existence.
Hmm.
That's what I would call it.
It's.
What I really don't like is
Hmm.
all this separation through culture by saying tradition is important, and if I would see right, then tradition says that only a certain race of people can have that tradition.
Hmm.
I don't really get that kind of culturism, or is that does that word exist? Culturism is also so centralized, and they're trying to put it into little compartments and into little glove boxes, and
Yeah.
I just don't really get all the separating. It's just I'm looking for words to describe what I'm trying to bring over to you. It's hard,
Hmm. Yeah.
even if this is not the healthiest thing to do.
Yeah.
We drink out of plastic cups. We wear plastic headphones. We sleep in plastic fabrics. Our clothes is made out of materials that are
Hmm.
artificial.
Hmm.
Our food is GMOs. We are eating artificial food.
Yeah.
Or air has chemtrails in it. It is artificial air.
Yeah.
God, where are we? Is there a thing called God? It's like
Yeah.
question after question in this world.
Yeah. It seems.
The only thing is, people always say it's so hard, it's so hard. But I think with every pain moment in life, one thing.
Hmm.
With every pain that you still feel and that you recognize as pain or wrongdoing, you recognize that you're still alive and you're feeling.
Yeah.
It, as crazy as it sounds, but that is like my silver lining.
Hmm.
I'll take this off. You didn't? Did you see it?
What is it? It's like
It's a Halloween joke.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
a zombie.
Yeah. In
That's
fact,
that's how I sometimes feel like when I watch the news here in Germany, like a zombie. Yes, yes, Angela Merkel, tell me the news. Yeah, we're trying to save our economy by flooding it with more money. It's the same thing the Americans did.
yeah. Yeah. Uh,
flooding the market with more money.
Uh-huh.
We're saving the economy.
You
This is
know,
great.
uh, I can make the same effects here with my program. You know, I'm just using.
I'm not using any program. I'm using my voice.
Yeah,
Old school.
exactly. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, Halloween joke here. Okay. Yeah. Let's continue. Yeah. I mean,
Should I take it back off? It's not Halloween yet. I should tuck it
uh,
away. Hide it.
yeah, we are close to Halloween. It's I think 15 days more or something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are part of the life, but we are we having
Living it.
our own
We're
how you
look
say soul.
right there.
Hmm.
We're participating in society. We have plastic accumulated around our household. There is no denying that we are living the petrol revolution to its fullest extent,
Hmm.
and we love it. We can't have more of it. We can't have more of faster, better, smaller cameras, smaller, faster, better cell phones. But I
Exactly.
don't really want to get into all the talking about the new technology wave is driving unemployment to a new peak. Of course it is. That's the whole point of developing better technology is to
Uh-huh.
almost demolish human labor.
Yeah.
But it's horror. It's horrible because there is no work, and we have to still pay people.
Hmm.
Even if there's no work, we still have to pay them because otherwise they won't survive in the system. Where will they get their money from?
So I don't know you, Pete, if you can also tell us about what happened. You know what is a chemtrail, right?
Yeah, certain, most certainly. I'm informed. I inform myself.
Hmm.
It's been going on since the 70s, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not new.
It started in Europe or in Russia even. If we go back to Russia, it's old tech in Russia. They even have cloud-producing vehicles that they just drive around the countryside and just park somewhere, and a whole king cloud that they call it, I think,
Uh-huh.
or they can produce literally the hugest cloud. It just floats up there, and they can even direct it. It's crazy shit. They're genetically modifying the weather,
Uh-huh.
so to speak. Everything is modified by us humans right now,
Yeah,
and we
everything.
need it. We need it to save the planet, to save just it's all such a big conspiracy, and it's just crazy.
Hmm.
It's just crazy. It's so big. It's getting so preposterous that a little person like you and me, we're just sitting in the same boat talking about
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, it's the same boat and the same planet. I mean, you're just some miles away from me now,
Yeah, but
but we are
you
breathing the same air. You know, all the
no, we're separate. We're separate. We have borders, dude.
ah, of course, of course. But it's
The
funny.
ocean current they changed.
Uh-huh.
When they come to a border, they go like, "Whoops, we can't go there."
Uh-huh. What
the
has
the word
happened?
to describe what you're feeling is empathy.
Uh-huh.
I would say, and I would describe my empathy level as almost sick. Like every time I see like people laughing about those videos where people accidentally walk against the pole or they
Hmm.
fall on their face or
Hmm.
some stupid accident happens to them. Those YouTube videos that have the
Yeah,
billion clicks
yeah,
and people just drive their bikes down a hill and fall on their head or shit like that.
yeah.
And I always feel with that person. It always hurts me too. It's
Uh-huh.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And if we see like things like a little Iranian girl has her foot blown off and there's blood and guts everywhere, we're
Uh-huh.
like, oh, I don't want to see that. Oh, turn it off, turn it away.
Uh-huh.
But that is our society
Uh-huh.
showing its true self, its true form. That is our society. War, destruction, poverty in other nations, but no, not in our nation, not in our immediate view. It's
Hmm.
somewhere else, far away, and that's good.
Hmm.
We bring democracy to other nations.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Even the stupidest person on this planet can recognize that war for peace. Hello,
Hmm.
is that logical? But okay, there are some people that don't even know what logic is. So okay, we might have some difference in reaching the people there. It'll be hard, but we will eventually get there.
Hmm.
I'm confident in it.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it's circular consumption. It's our system. It's
Yeah.
based on that. If you would take that out of the system, it would collapse immediately. If you would take that out, damn, that would be revolutionary. It would
Uh,
be like destroying the economy of every country in like a heartbeat. We
much
have
money?
we
Yeah,
have the technology out there
of
to
course. The technology
literally
permit
feed
it.
the world 10 times over,
Hmm.
technologize the world
Of course.
billion times over, but
Money is
the
there.
problem is
Hmm.
we can't afford it
Yeah, we can
in this
afford it.
system
Yeah, that sounds
because our
funny.
system is limited to a few having some and some having all.
Exactly. That's good. Yeah, some have it all. Exactly. This is the new world order. They have it all, and they
You
are.
know, I wouldn't define it on one clearly defined class or rulers or it's it's so interconnected that
Hmm.
it's pretty much crazy. I haven't been watching television for the past maybe 4 or 5 years already because
Yeah.
the news on there they're just so misleading from what is really going on in the world.
Manipulated.
I must really confess that
Hmm.
all the media outlets out there are pretty much effed up. Can I say that in a live stream? Can I even say
Say
like
whatever you
bad
want.
words?
Of course, say
They're
whatever
pretty
you want.
fucked up. The mainstream media is way fucked up. It's crazy. It's like manipulation of crowds.
Hmm.
They like copy like segments of the crowd
Yeah.
and they like copy that out and you don't even recognize it because it's just a 1 second frame that they put in.
Hmm.
Here we have protesters of this in this country, and then you see that the segment of the crowd when you really dissect the videos, they're like just copies of copies of copies, and they're just segmented so beautifully together that you really think, oh, that's a real crowd.
Uh huh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's crazy the technology that they're using to divert us from the reality. It's insane the effort that they put into the misinformation of us, the protesters, so to
Yeah.
speak. It's
Exactly.
crazy.
How is society now? Is it
It's
peaceful?
it's dumbed down. I would say it's
It's worse than in the past.
everybody's living way too good.
Okay.
There are some that have it bad.
Uh
There are
huh.
some that have it worse.
Uh huh.
But I would say in the relative point of view of standard of living, I would put the Germans pretty high. The standard of living is pretty high. People that own a house still don't see themselves as being rich.
Mhm.
And owning a house that you can literally just say is yours is, in my eyes,
Mhm.
being kind of wealthy.
Mhm.
No matter where you are on this planet, if you own a piece of land and you have a house that you can call your house, then you're wealthy in my eyes. I don't know if that defines wealth or so, but I would say so.
Mhm.
And it's kind of mixed up.
Mhm. Okay.
Really many people are not even knowing who and why they are being judged and trying to judge other people in their lives.
Okay. Okay. I see there's Russ Tanner, also a good friend I have. I have made some live streams with him already. Yeah. Let's say hello to Russ. Russ, are you there?
I'm here. How you doing, Hans?
Fine, fine. Welcome. Great to see you again. It's I don't know if you followed the live stream until now. We are talking about everything. I mean about all the world, also about chemtrails, and you're welcome also to give your personal input here. That people also know new people who see you maybe the first time. So yeah, welcome to the show, man. Great to see you
Oh,
again,
thank.
Bob. Okay, this is Pete, a friend also here. Pete, you also can talk to Russ. We are now together here on that call.
Yeah. Hello there. Hi, Pete.
Hi, what's up?
Hey.
I gotta be a little bit down on the bass in my voice. It's kind of late here in Germany right now. It's 10 o'clock right now. My parents just went to bed, and I guess they can hear every word I'm speaking right now. But who cares? You only live once, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
So, what have you been doing? How's the economy? Sorry.
Russ.
Uh, yeah. Yeah. The I'll tell you, we have our own business, and our economy is down as far as we're concerned. It's uh, business is a little on the slow side. It's been kind of slowing down over the past couple of years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see it in the news every day. My dad is still all into it and trying to cope with his sicknesses that he has, and being a veteran of the United States Army is not the best deal of getting Medicare over here in Germany. It's kind of crazy.
We were talking about the chemtrails. I mean, this is something also we have to recognize. Many people they still think this is just a conspiracy. That is not true. But okay, you are in Germany, and you told us some minutes ago that you saw them also in Germany. Russ is a really specialist about this because he's working since years, and he even can smell them. I don't know if you believe it. He smells
Yeah,
chemtrails. It's
yeah,
incredible.
it's more tasting, right? It's not smelling.
So
That's
Yeah.
more
It's
metallic and salt.
uh-huh. So what I will
yeah.
do now.
Actually, I've tasted different different types of them. Like there's one type that's really salty, metallic, and they used to do that where I lived. You know, usually in the winter time during the day, and then at night they would change to a different kind that was really like a blunt metallic taste, and it would really burn my sinuses and cause my muscles and joints to swell up. And it would all be on a schedule. So during the daytime they would do the salty metallic one, and they would do the blunt one, and then once in a while we'd have sulfur, which I've heard reported from a lot of people in several different countries. Where, in fact, just on Facebook yesterday, somebody had a really heavy sulfur dump in their area where the whole air smelled like sulfur for a large period of time. And I've experienced that myself too. And several other different kinds. There's another kind that actually smells like acetone. And that one really messes me up. It makes me have get a horrible headache. My business partner gets a bad headache, and we just everything hurts. In fact, over since I've been smelling and tasting them now for 7 years, 2005 is when this all started for us. I know some places it was earlier. Um, I've kept track of all the different types that have been sprayed on a schedule, and I've so far come up with 7 unique different types where they have their own flavor. And you're right, it's mostly flavor more than it is smell. You can taste them much more than you smell them, but there's a couple types that do have an odor to them too. But yeah, I believe I'm I'm sure of it that there's several different types, and they have different scents, different tastes, and they cause different symptoms. A lot of the symptoms overlap because it's I think you know, they all cause inflammation, or most of them cause inflammation, so that causes a set of symptoms. But yeah, it's been uh, I think there's a lot of different types, several different types.
That is. I didn't really know that there were that many different kinds of aerosols, right? That's the definition of it, right?
Yeah, right. The chemical aerosols is what we call them.
The types that I've heard about are the ones that are sprayed from ground vehicles, and then there's the one that is sprayed from airborne vehicles. That are the two kinds I know of. But I guess here in Europe they don't go on the smell too much, so they probably go more with the taste. They don't if they would spray anything that would smell, I would think the European folk would recognize that there's something going on more likely. That's my feeling that they're more developed over here because that it has been going on for decades and just centuries even, and it's been documented in Europe and in Russia. Russia is heavily documented on weather manipulation. There's this one Russian holiday when the sun isn't shining on that holiday, they didn't pay for the spraying, and it's funny because you see it written on black and white paper. They pay for this shit. They pay for all these toxins, and it's on black and white. So and so much money has been transferred to that and that firm to put that and that in our atmosphere. But no, we don't modify our weather. No, 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 we don't do that. Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen the same thing where on I think it's called mantra.com, where you can look up any part of the U.S. budget, and I found in there that in 2005 they created a new line item, budget item, that was called aircraft services, and in 2005 the budget for that line item was $996 million. The following year, it went over $1 billion. This is just in one year. So 996 million in 2005, and it went over a billion the next year, and it went even higher the next year. And 2005 is the year that I first started seeing them on a regular basis. I had seen them. I was at a convention in Anaheim, California, back in 2003, and I took like a week vacation. We drove out there, so it's like a 3-day drive across the United States. And so on the way back, we stopped at El Capitan, which is a big, it's in one of the big state parks. It's a very beautiful place to see. And I first saw chemtrails there in 2003. But when I came back to Jamestown, New York, where I was living at the time, um, in 2005, I remember when they started spraying every day because I could taste it and smell it. It was brand new to me. All of a sudden I could taste and smell metal in the air, and it started really affecting my health very, very severely. I mean, it really interfered with my ability to work. It still does, except I've learned how to take countermeasures. But 2005 was the year that we saw them every single day start spraying. And most of the people I talked to, 2005 was the big year that they really went global with it. Now, I know they've been spraying other places for many years earlier, but I think they were kind of doing it more on a limited basis, or maybe over certain cities, or maybe even one or two countries here or there. But 2005, anyway, is when the U.S. allocated $996 million. That's when we just saw them everywhere. Everybody seems to have seen them begin, and most people in their areas in 2005.
Uh, I really much have to say it has to do with commercial airliners being used for that stuff on a regular basis nowadays. That is what I see. They're like subsidizing it for every person carried. They have X amount of money. But for every liter of the fluid that they take up there and spray out, they have X amount of money, and they don't need to carry the extra weight. They just spray it out there, and then they make double the profit on the aerosol. And especially firms like Lufthansa are big in that business, and I'm really curious and getting some of the Lufthansa personnel. They none of them are allowed to talk. And every time when I try to befriend somebody at like a currywurst, where when you're standing there and you're eating the currywurst and you're talking to them about aerosol or about chemtrails, if you just use the word chemtrails, they're like, "Oh, never heard of it. Get away, get away." And then you're like, "Hey, dude, you're working with planes. I I'm not allowed to talk to you about this," and it's kind of crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, what we've seen here, what I've actually seen is uh, um, that most of the jets that spray us are unmarked silver jets, and a lot of times they fly in formation. Um,
Mhm.
in fact, in fact, I moved to Maine in 2008 because Jamestown was getting sprayed so heavily. I actually was getting so sick. I thought I was going to die actually. So I very quickly moved to Maine where they were spraying, but it was a lot less. Now in Jamestown, the very first time in 2005 when they started spraying, for the first year, the jets were white and they had red tails and all four engines were red. And that went on for about a year, and we couldn't see any logos or anything. We couldn't make out any logos or anything like that. But I think Virgin Airlines often uses a paint scheme kind of like that. But then after maybe about a year, they were all silver. They had no markings, and a lot of times they would fly in formation. And ever since then, like 2006 until now, they're always just silver unmarked jets. And that's what we've seen, or that's what I've seen anyway, in New York since then, and in Maine. And I've actually driven up and down the coast, flown twice and up and to Florida, and then driven twice to Florida in the last few years. And everything I see is silver unmarked jets.
Yeah.
Uh, did you hear about those I don't know if it was 6 or 7 planes flying or jets flying in one line completely across the United States, and they were painting the number pi into the sky. Did you hear about that, guys?
I saw that. I saw a video on YouTube where they were putting numbers in the sky. I didn't know they were uh, doing the number pi, but I know that they were doing numbers. It was really
Uh,
strange.
I I got so many calls on my website. Hey, what are they doing? Is that the New World Order, world conspiracy? What the heck is going on? Chemtrails everywhere, everything. And it was an art installation of 5 or 6 jets flying in a straight line across some state in America, printing out the number pi with aerosols. And that put the icing on the cake for me. Is like the technology exists here. They even proved it with the art installation.
What do you run a website about chemtrails?
No, I'm just some old schmuck interesting in conspiracy theory.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. What's your website? I'd love to check it out.
I'm just on Facebook.
Oh, okay. I thought. Okay, I got you. I got you.
I
Huh.
guess we already have each other, or we will find each other. I guess. Do you have Facebook?
Yeah, yeah. I run the chemtrail group called Chemtrails Global Skywatch.
Yeah, I guess I got you. I think I have you. When not, I will have you after this session of live video session. I'm getting a little tired, getting a little hyperactive and shit. Yeah, I'm saying too much cuss words here. We're gonna get so many million views. Look at that crazy German dude. He speaks perfectly English. That is driving me up the walls. They're going to invade our country. I'm just kidding.
Uh, yeah, it's it's been great because there's a guy in our group who, in fact, I'm looking at our group right now. I just saw the video yesterday, and I've been really busy lately because I told you about it. I have family up in, and the only reason I'm free today is because my business partner and my family are off in northern Maine doing some shopping and stuff, so I have a day off. But um, anyway, there's a guy. I saw a video of a guy in I think the UK who painted his van red, and he put chemtrail messages all over on it, and he put a chemtrails global skywatch on the side of it. So sent him a message that, hey, thank you for that. That's awesome.
I,
Great
I
job.
must really say I advocate two movements in my life right now, and I'm proud of those movements that I can say I'm standing up to them and through them. I become more involved. I became more involved with my environment, and I inform myself about my environment. And it's essential to know what is going on in the world, to know what you're against. And the world was against me being a young individual that was seeking truth and seeking out why reality was the way it is. And I got shunned and told, no, you have to find your place through this method and through this method. And I'm like, why? Why can't I just be me? Why do I have to take those little pills that supposedly make me normal? It's crazy. It's a crazy world, and being a crazy person to cope with this crazy world is just what some people need more of. That is what I'm guessing. I don't even know if I'm here to find the truth or anything. I'm just here to talk to people about everything that inspires me on seeking out more people in my life. I just like talking to people about everything, and it's pretty much amazing where it led me.
Yeah.
Well, when I'm excuse me, I got real sick in 1995 and became very, very sick by 2000, and finally learned that I was sick because of my amalgam silver fillings that were off gassing mercury into my mouth. And I had my fillings removed, and all my illnesses went away, almost all of them overnight. And over the next few months, the little bit that was left completely went away, and I felt absolutely incredible. I was shy and kind of fearful and withdrawn all my life. I couldn't remember names, dates, or places. And now, in 2000, I had a friend who told me, she and I were working together, learning how to make websites. We were working together on some software. And she had fibromyalgia. And she told me a story about how she became bedridden, and she went from doctor to doctor for 5 years and was on one prescription after another, and nobody could help her. And so finally, she went on the internet and found people talking about the connection between fibromyalgia and mercury poisoning. So right then, I was like, really? She told me that these fillings had mercury in them, and I had no idea. So that's where it all turned around for me. And even the shyness and the phobias and the trouble sleeping and all these problems, every single problem I had throughout my life went away after these fillings were removed. Of course, most of them came back in 2005 when they started spraying chemtrails. But I had 5 years of absolute bliss where I felt like Superman. I woke up and I said, this is the way people are supposed to feel in their lives. So I personally believe in the United States, there have been a whole series of articles that have come out. Now, for the last year, they've been quiet, but for several years before that, all the time I saw articles about how the mercury levels in the soils have been rising, and uh, the articles were trying to say, oh, it's coming from Chinese power plants, coal-burning power plants, because coal-burning power plants can give off mercury. Well, the California Air Quality, I can't remember the name of the organization, but it's a California Air Quality Board, did research and determined that the metals were not coming from power plants at all. So the question is, where is the mercury and these other metals coming from that are in the soils? Based on the fact that I had mercury poisoning before and I know exactly what it feels like, it makes your ears ring, it makes your mind spin so you can't concentrate, it can make you hyperactive, it would make me hyper and you couldn't sit down and focus, it would make songs loop in your mind like you couldn't get a melody out of your head if you've ever had that happen. Now after my feelings were taken out, all that stuff went away. I was able to focus perfectly, could memorize names, dates, and places, phone numbers. People could just tell me a phone number and I could just remember it forever. It was incredible. And then when the chemtrails started, that all went away again. I've become convinced, plus there's other evidence like Brookhaven Labs, which is a big national laboratory here, a very prestigious laboratory, just came out a few years ago with a method for removing mercury from the soil, which they're patenting. And so I think what we're having happen is I think one of the things that are probably in the chemtrails, and I think it's laced with petroleum. I think they use petroleum as a carrier because what everybody has here is we're having all of these oil slicks in the clouds where you look up and you see all the weird colors. It looks like an oil slick in the clouds. Plus, you'll get these, after they spray heavy, you'll get a film of oil on your windshield of your car. You get this oily film and you just have to, you have to clean it off. And when they spray that stuff, and it kind of tastes like acetone, it's almost like a petroleum acetone. It's not exactly like acetone, but it's close to it. But it seems like a petroleum product. We get mercury symptoms like ringing in the ears and our hyperness and our mind spinning. So I really would like to see research done into whether or not one of these chemtrail types that they're spraying may contain mercury, because I know mercury has been a favorite poison for the governments, especially the pharmaceutical companies, because mercury is been put in dental fillings and in amalgam filling, dental fillings, vaccines, the red coloring in dentures. For seniors, they get these dentures, they go downhill, they get dementia, they can remember things. Some lipsticks and cosmetics. Mercurochrome was actually something you would put on cuts. They banned it, but it was mercury-based and it was red. And a lot of these things are red in color because when you mine mercury, it's mined as the ore called cinnabar, and it's a red, kind of a magenta red color. And so they used it.
Mercurochrome, Indian blood? Don't they call it Indian blood too?
I haven't heard that name for it, but it was something that was used as an antiseptic for cuts for years and years, and then they banned it because it was loaded with mercury.
Is that true?
So I think that mercury has been, if you look at the 200 of the most common diseases that mercury causes, it matches with the 200 most common diseases we have in the world today. Everything from congestive heart failure, autism, depression, cancer, aneurysms, strokes, cardiovascular diseases, nervous system problems like sciatica.
Isn't there a big business behind all that?
Well, in the United States, I know the Rockefeller family, exactly, Rockefeller family literally virtually controls the pharmaceutical and the oil industries. So
there you have it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's all that you can say if you connect the dots of all the firms together, like Monsanto and the aerosol firms, and you look, okay, they ready the soil for their Roundup, GMO stock shit, and then they spray aerosols to make the ground more acid holding. So yeah, the plants will survive that. They genetically modified the plants to withstand acid floors, but the normal kind of plant won't grow anymore, you will have to buy the patented seed from Monsanto because they produce the seed, they produce the pesticide, and hey, pretty soon you don't even need a pesticide anymore. You'll just have the plant, and the plant will be full of the pesticide already. Ain't that dandy? And you should say, for people to eat the FDA approved. After there was a study, no, we don't need a study. It's just food for the sheeple. We don't need to study that. It's approved. Here, have the stamp, have the food here. We need faster production, faster. It, it needs to expand. We need to expand our businesses. That's why we need perfect weather. That's why we need perfect weather modification. We need it because our economy depends on everything ticking like a freaking machine. It's crazy that we're even actually arguing about it when it's so beautifully laid out in front of a 24-year-old's mind, seeing every little cog fit in, and it's just so obscene for people to really question that they're seeing people dying in a different country. It's none of my business. I need to make my business. I need to feed my children. Isn't there something horribly wrong with the way that we try to strive for each other and one another, and on the one side we have to work for oneself because nobody else will work for you? It's just crazy somehow. We worry so much about our environment. We need to save the planet. I just can say it again. I just can quote George Carlin. The planet's fine. The people are fucked. It's just
That's, yeah, did you ever see in London, they did those experiments where they put an actor on the stairs of like one of the government buildings or something, right in London, and the person would call out for help and would say, like holding their chest and say, "Oh, I need help. Can you get me help? Can you get me help?" People would just walk by for 30 minutes and just kind of look at them and just keep on their way and keep on their way until finally it took like half an hour, 40 minutes until somebody would actually stop and help this person, you know? So, I mean, I think that's kind of like an indication of what's wrong with society today, where we're not taking care of each other. You know what I mean? I think that speaks to what you were just talking about. Is what's wrong with people that they can't stop and help somebody who's on the sidewalk crying for help, you know?
the problem in society itself. It's deep rooted in the system itself. I would say it's like you're at a cash register. You're 18 years old. Your mind is full of, sorry to be and make it so drastic and graphic, sex sexting. I don't even know. It's not my generation. The sexting and all the exciting stuff. The Justin Bieber tickets and the iPhone G170. The new version of this. And did you see this app? And oh, you gotta check out. This star broke up with this star, and this star is dating a new star. And it's just also mumbo jumbo. And then it's society. It's what shaped us to be what we represent, and to have a sort of standard of beingness in this so-called culture and in so-called society that we force ourselves to be a part of. But we don't actually force ourselves, we are being forced, because if we don't make any money, if we don't make our living, so to speak, if we don't learn our profession, if we don't get our diplomas, pieces of paper where other people have to describe if we're a good person, if we're smart, if we're intellectually adjust, if we're fit for society. And it's all those questions that could come in together to form us, the people. And there are people out there who don't really get they're part of society. They think they're this individual, and who's to blame them? It's our culture that tells us about individualism is a great thing. If you're an individual, it's great. But the whole problem is when you get deep down to the natural needs of each and every person, it's shelter, food, and water. Maybe warmth, maybe a little love, okay. But it basically comes right down to that. There's no fighting against those facts. But then there comes all this culture shit that you need the newest, you need the best, you need the fastest, you need the styliest, and all those names for things we actually don't really need, but we need them somehow. And it's all such a jumbo mumbo about trying to succeed in something. I don't know what it is, but we need to succeed. We need to be the best of the best. 24/7 at best. It's crazy. And we're all living by it. We're all paying our bills every single day, every single night.
Well, I think that people have uh, one of the problems I see are people are afraid to face difficult truths. A lot of people have a propensity to go into denial, and in the industry I'm in, we publish information about herbs and vitamin supplements. It's all scientific information to help people educate themselves. And sometimes when you talk to people about a disease, and you'll see what we call in our industry the glazed over look. You'll see their face kind of glaze over, and they're shutting down mentally. Yeah, there you go.
I wanted to talk about two things about the chemtrails. Rosanna was talking about them leaving some kind of residue, and with the residue, I find it interesting. There was two videos I got on my Facebook page. Somebody linked them on there about it looked like a spider web about 5 meters in diameter, and it was somewhere in London. I saw it linked in YouTube, and it was looking very, very awkward. It was like spider nets everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a thin layer of
Yeah.
it looked like a fine cocoon like net all around.
I don't know. I know the video you're talking about. I watched it, I think, yesterday myself. If it's the same one, it's just a huge field, a large field that's just covered with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that I know is that there are patents that talk about using web, like spider web, synthesized spider web material as a carrier for pathogens or a carrier for uh, weapons in an aerosol program. So that's that's something related. And I also should say, while we're talking, is that on a side note a little bit about Anthony, is that strokes are one of the very common things that can happen with chemtrails. When you have barium and or mercury exposure, mercury blocks the body's utilization of vitamin C, and if you have low utilization of vitamin C for a period of time, the arterial walls can become very vulnerable, and you can have strokes or aneurysms are very common. Heart attacks are very common. Of course, these heavy metals, especially mercury, causes cancer. And that's what I call the big four. I did an interview on a radio station several months ago on a mainstream station in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the guy was just shocked when I told him that the big four are cancer, strokes, aneurysms, and heart attacks. And he's like, everybody, it seems like there's so many people having the problem. So, but yeah, back to the spider webs. There are patents talking about spider web materials being used as a carrier. But other than that, I would like to see that material tested, see what they can learn about it.
So, what I find interesting now that you say it had spider web like materials. Did you know that they genetically modified a goat to produce spider web-like substances? All it all fits together so majestically. Just like I said, it's uh that doesn't exist, not in our time. That is science fiction. Yes, it does exist. Look, there's a picture. There's a goat giving milk, and out of the milk, look, they're getting a thread out of the milk. It's just crazy. Making a cow pig. It's crazy. It's getting creepier by the second. The more you delve into this conspiracy theory stuff, it makes you go insane almost from the outside, people looking in at you, they think you're insane, they think you're crazy. But when you're an insider and you accumulate all this so-called hidden knowledge that is out there, there is so much hidden knowledge that every time anybody looks at me and says that it has conspiracy theory, yeah, why do secret organizations exist in the first place, then, dumbass? That that's the only thing that I can ask such a person. Why the heck do you think FBI, CIA, the Mossad, I don't know what the Russians is. I don't know what it's called right now. It used to be the KGB, right? Or am I wrong there?
KGB?
Yeah, the Russians. What is the name of their so-called intelligence now? I have no idea.
I don't know. I always thought it was a KGB. I didn't know if it had changed or not.
The British. What is England again? That's something with a nine, right?
Um,
Ah,
yeah, it's escaping me. What is the British intelligence agency called?
Scotland Yard,
something with
maybe?
a number.
Or the number.
Are you thinking MI9 or something, or MI5 or
M
something like that?
MI5. Yeah, isn't that MI5?
That sounds be, yeah.
Could be. Yeah.
I don't know. It's see that's even we people don't know what the secret organizations are called. It kind of makes it a little bit laughable because they're trying to tell us that there is nothing they're trying to hide, and on the other side, there are all these papers with the black banks. Ick, ick. Somebody with a big fat black marker. Ick, ick. You're not supposed to know that. We're keeping you safe to serve and to protect. Ah.
Crazy world.
I think what you said about it all coming together very majestically is so true. Um, the problem I have when I talk to people about stuff like this is that people are so indoctrinated in lies that when you start telling them truth, it contradicts with what they already believe. So you start saying, hey, they're spraying chemtrails. And like, well, why isn't the media talking about it? Well, the media is controlled by these people. Well, how could that be? Because of this other thing I believe that doesn't make sense. And so you get into explaining so many things that they believe are true that really aren't, that they become overwhelmed. And they're like, oh, this is just too much. It's too much. And I think that's part of the plan. I mean, the CIA director years ago said, we'll know that the CIA's job is complete, something like this. He said the CIA's job will complete when everything the American people believe is false. And we're almost to that state today where there's so much. So it's so hard. You're so right. Everything comes together. When you actually are willing to do the research and put in the time and put the pieces together, all the pieces come together. It all makes perfect sense. Everything makes sense what's going on, and you can see the big picture. But you have to be strong enough to keep going, keep researching, keep reading, keep watching.
And that's where the whole big trouble begins when you really notice the so-called symbols and signs. You just can't shut it off anymore. It's just active. It's like a switch that has been turned on, and when it's on, it's there is no running away from what you know. because once you know, it's like the sorry that I'm quoting a movie now, but it's like the freaky choice with the little green or red pill that you have to take to go into the tunnel of the rabbit. I think it's Matrix, or I don't know what the name of it is, but it's kind of telling me there is truth in every false story, and in every false story there is some falseness. I don't know how the sentence really goes, but in every fiction there is some truth, and in every truth there is some fiction. I don't know how to really say it.
Well, we've talked about Hans and I have talked about this before about how the secret societies um, spread disinformation very systematically and very effectively, and how Helena Petrova Blavatsky, for instance, is a name a lot of
Oh
people know.
yeah.
Yeah, where she actually laid out a lot of plans, and when you actually identify their religion, they refer to it themselves as a form of Luciferianism. It's a very, very interesting thing when you start to uncover what their real beliefs are and how they're trying to
Satanism.
spread those beliefs out into the. Yeah, it's
It,
Satanism. They don't consider it Satanism
it's
because
not
they.
Luciferism. Lucifer has to do too much with the moon. It's based too much with Stellar, and but what we really have is Satanism, and it's big time. It's huge. Everybody's doing it, and it started in Europe. So the Germans, they knew what they was doing with their swastika. It's crazy. I'm an American, German, Dutch person by definition of what I am, so to speak. And yeah, that's what I represent as, because I was raised up to be that. I don't really believe in it. I think I'm a human. So are you. So is he. And alone knowing those cultural.
Nice to see you
Hi,
again. Hi. Long time
hi.
we didn't.
Hey, from Sweden.
Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
Marie.
I'm live now again. So yeah, I don't know what happened to you the last weeks. I think so when we had the last live stream where you were talking. How are you doing, Marie?
Okay. Shall I talk then? I will continue a little about what happened to me the last month. I have done a very good success with my own research of these Magellans and technology and all this, but it's very hard because um, I do a really crazy thing because I have found out this spider web who has been over me the last 5 years, and that is really like spider web, and they works like that. And now I have found also out that there is some vessel between the sore I had, who 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 is the leader around the body, and that makes everything logic about the different kind of the disease we have, and what happened with everything. Uh, I can hear myself now. I talking little what is that in English? I wanted to speak so much about this, but it's not easy to understand when we talk about Magellans and mind control and all these, and that's because I try to share or um, share it with spiderweb like that. So I begin to look myself, and I begin also. I have not so much swollenness, and that's amazing because I have not for the 4 years back. I have not felt real sensitive in my body. I have not smell or taste real, and I I have. It's so strange because I have not feeling like this for many years. But the problem is still there because I have a lot of pain in my body. I have a lot of migraine. I have a lot of muscle and nerve pain in the body, and uh, but I hope I will find some science man here in Sweden who can analyze the thing I pull out from my head because it's unbelievable. So that is what I have done the last month. You should, I think, Hans, because you do a great work, and what I have learned, especially the last year, when I have been in different group, and the people, uh, what shall we? They. Um, Everybody must do something for themselves, and the most important for us all is try to survive. Because if we can survive in our different country in different ways, then we can help each other much better. Because sometimes I think of myself, and I think Johan, sometimes you will help so much, but then you forget yourself. And that is very important to not forget. That is my biggest lesson with all this, not forget myself, because if I can't help myself, I can't help nobody. Yeah, did you see me? I
Yes.
can't see, my computer is totally oh, it's so many strange things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody
We see
have
you.
well, I don't know, because I think I get too healthy and talk too much, and then they try to close down my Facebook and my Skype. I have a lot of problem with everything, but I will keep on fighting, and I will show the world, because um, the I think the biggest problem around the world, that is it's not only that the people buy everything, and that, because I think um, every year after year, or if it's 100 years in the future, or 1,000, everybody wants power and buy things, and feel more happy about that. But I think that something that is very important that I felt, that is the people and the human being begin to be they don't respect each other, they don't really listen to each other, they are thinking too much about themselves, to that there is something happened to them, and and I think also because what I have going through, the nightmare, the pain, the to be poor, and we lost everything, and but I have learned a very big thing, that is I have learned to know myself, and I have learned to what's important in life, because I think when we are healthy, when we work, when we do all this, we forget and don't stop sometimes and thinking what is important. And I hope I'll be better because I really want to begin my new life soon. So if there is somebody in a warm, hot country, I also come to Mexico or whatever. I don't know, but here is cold. The interesting is about, for example, mind control. Uh, if you look, because I'm looking at TV and I don't look, I just listen sometimes because I must. I have too much in my head if I have no something around. And then I have seen about every TV shows or like CSI and I don't know, Fringe and all what kind of programs it calls. Everybody speak about microchips and implants. And what I, because I have thinking so much since I get sick and after everything strange beginning, and now everything is so clear, but it still sounds strange for the people who don't know. If I'm talking about my shadow on faces and what I can see and feel, uh, uh, they think I'm crazy. But it's very interesting because people look at this every day on the TV, not only the docu soap, because I think that is an experiment of people, and it's very interesting if you look in another way, because that what they do to us in the whole world. They do a lot of experiment and see what the result will be in different kind of ways. So it's, I begin to think it's very logic, but the people, I don't. Before I looked so much for the answer what's happened to me, but today perhaps we have the answer, but we don't know the, how we get it. I don't know. I think, but I don't know. But I know what happens. But what I think, all the people like me and the rest who are target, even if we must have more education, because it takes, for what I can see, if I speak for myself, it takes me so many years that if I knew from the beginning, then I could do a lot. I think in the last week I have a very spiritual moment, and 5 years ago when I had the same, I was more afraid and look for it. Today I use the technique in another way because I know what happened, and I am not scary in the same way. Sometimes I hate it, but sometimes I have learned to use it. And I think there is so many people who go through this, but um, uh, if they go to speak with for example, with mind control, it's uh, many things in fact and information, not what can happen and how you can do it. And I begin to thinking about this because we fight so much to in different country with hospital doctors, political, and how we can um, going in the future with this. But I think it will take a long time, and what I have done this year is just really try to survive myself, because when I saw the 4 5 years back, I was totally off. In 3 years, I don't open computer, I don't talking to anybody, I did do nothing, and also my health was very bad. But when it's very important to try and learn how to survive.
So I just want to thank you, Hans, for all the stuff that you do and that you make this information available to people.
So also thank you so much for having time always and being here. It's always a pleasure to have you online. So.
Well, thank you, Hans, Peter. Nice meeting you.
One
Marie,
more second.
go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I would really like to address all you older people. Can I just define you as a little bit older and wiser than I am? Yes. Yes, definitely. Okay. So you're older, you're wiser, and you're the older people. Out of people that are about, let's say, 5 foot high people. Nah, okay, 5 foot is a little bit far fetched. Let's say kids that are just barely to your hip. Do you think they're capable of understanding the world's problems today? Do you think the grown-ups talk to their kids about worldly problems?
No.
Or are it the small things that the kids stuck up in their bringing up? It's just all your little siblings that you got out there somewhere. Everybody has their relatives somewhere.
Okay. What?
Try to involve them in daily problems and in daily businesses. They don't know what kind of system they're grown up in. They're still calculating with little butterflies and they're dreaming the big dream of having something to look forward to. But it's all, I don't know. It's where is it all going?
Yep. You know, the one thing that I've talked about with Hans that's really interesting is we have the dumbing down of the world. And Dr. Russell Blaylock talks about the chemical dumbing down of the world by giving people bad foods, by through artificial sweeteners. Now we have chemtrails. I know that mercury can't make you think very well. It makes your mind race. You can't focus. And all these other chemicals interfere with your thinking processes and make us not able to comprehend this. So I think a lot of the young people today are at a disadvantage because they have all of this chemical assault and GMO foods and all of these illnesses to put up with, and they're creating those things on purpose. And one thing I shared with Hans too is not only does Russell Blaylock talk about this and the other, Dr. Boyd Haley, who was a chemistry chair of the University of Kentucky, brilliant man who talks about the connection between mercury and diseases. I've been through mercury poisoning, and it has made, and I know exactly what it's like. One thing I shared with Hans on our last Friend Talk show is I think this is very fascinating because you're asking the question, where is all of this going? If you look in the Bible in Revelation 18:23, now I know there's a lot of disinformation about the Bible out there. I've studied it for about 25 years now. I've read it 15 times or more. I stopped counting at 12. And I'm absolutely fascinated by the things that are being foretold that you're not going to learn about in church, you're not going to learn about the televangelist. But let me share a couple things that I've discovered that people aren't talking about, and it's absolutely mind-blowing. In the last book of the Bible, in Revelation 18:23, there's a verse that says, "And the great merchants of the earth deceived the nations by their sorcery." Now, the context of this little prophecy is what is going to happen shortly before the return of Christ. Well, the prophecy says that the great merchants, now we go back to the original language, and what does that mean, great merchants? The word great means powerful. The merchants are the traders, the people who do big business. These are powerful, powerful businesses and bankers. The great merchants of the earth deceived the nations. And there's a lot of talk about the great deception. What is the great deception? It's happening right now. It's what Helena Blavatsky is promoting, and Annie Besant, and these other people who have actually formed the philosophies of the elite. When you understand what they really believe, it's what a lot of these rock stars call the Rain Man. If you ever hear Eminem talking about the Rain Man, well, who's the Rain Man? The Rain Man is the man you make a deal with, who gives you money, wine, women, and song. He's the one who makes things happen for you. Go on YouTube. That's what the movie Rain Man with Tom Cruise was about. It was about this guy, his brother, who eventually brought him a great gift, who brought him something greater than he thought he was going to give him. That's what the Rain Man is all about. So you have this verse in Revelation 18:23. It says, the great merchants, which means the powerful traders and bankers, deceived the nations because of their sorcery. And if you look at the word sorcery, do you know what the word sorcery means? It's actually the Greek word pharmakia, and it's where we get our word pharmaceutical from. And it actually means to drug or poison. Now, I've studied this stuff a lot, and I could talk, as Hans knows, for hours. I could talk for hours about it. But the bottom line is that
I could listen for days.
well, the interesting thing, and this is, there's several more. There's many more things like this that I found that are just mind-boggling. But shortly before the return of Christ, there will be a great deception, and the great deception will be that Lucifer is God. I'm giving you the punchline real quick. This is exactly what Helena Blavatsky taught. This is exactly what Annie Besant took over and taught. This is what the elites believe. This is the religion of the elites. They took over the Masonic Lodge, which Ellen Weishaupt was key in doing. And let me, I don't want to go on and on, because I could talk. I'm talking about this. But they deceived the nations. They deceived them into the great lie by their sorcery, because they drug and they poison. What chemtrails doing? They are poisoning people so that you can't think clearly. The young people are at a great disadvantage today because they are so assaulted by this chemical assault. But I do think that they are rising to the occasion, because I'm not young, but they are rising to the occasion, and I'm really, really pleased to see so many people like yourself, Peter, who you're obviously young and you have an interest in this, and I'm very pleased to see people like you who are, instead of playing games all day long, and nothing wrong with playing games and having fun, but you have an interest in these things and you're learning about these things, and I'm very pleased to see people who are doing that. So.
Yeah, but it's self study and it's self gaining of knowledge. It's nothing that I go to any schooling for or do. It's self-acclaimed. I read books about like a feudal society, and you know that the tool society, they still exist. They're still among us everywhere, and there's a big part that's called the Australian from Australia. You know, down under.
Right. Yeah.
It's called the family. Did you hear about that?
Not a. I haven't heard that phrase used before. No.
It's like a cult. To say it bluntly, it's called the family, and one person in particular was or is a member of that so-called cult, or is attributed to be a member. I don't really know if that is a statement I can make so easily, that Julian Assange was once part of the family. That is a known cult in Australia down under, you know, the country down under, and it's pretty much it interconnects all the secret organizations and cults and skull and bones, and we all know the names. we all know the faces to the names, and we all know that they're controlling society ever since. And but hey, we are the masses, so we, we knowing this is the dangerous thing for them actually, but they don't really care. They got our food control, they got our money control, they got our media control, and to be honest, the fight is almost in my young generation eyes. It's like grinding us to the metal, and it's going to be bloody. The revelation of this world coming to some kind of peaceful means is almost limited. The view of an outcome that is without bloodshed. It's you see what's going on in the streets in Europe right now. It's like, hey, Europe, here, have a peace prize because you didn't have war in the last couple of decades. Here, have a peace prize. Yeah, the police has been beating down all the fights, right, with tear gas and water throwers, and there have been more riots than there have been broadcasts of riots, and it's kind of annoying to find the truth seeping out at the edges and at the corners after the people who was incarcerated get out again, if they get out again. But they'll spin the rights of one police officer, so hey, there are a bunch of police officers out there that you don't know of, but that's the scary part about it. And that's where the young folks come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think what we have today is with the internet spreading so much information. We they are the elites who are running this show are backed into a corner because they know that if they ever lose control, they will be prosecuted and they will be executed for the crimes against humanity. So they are literally fighting for their lives, and they are not going to just throw up their arms and give up because they know if they lose control of the situation, it's the end for them. So expect that they'll do anything that they can. They'll even push the button. They'll start wars. They'll do anything that's necessary to make sure that they maintain control. So, but on the other hand, like you said, people really do have the power. If the people are willing to get together and coordinate their efforts and become focused and become a part of this, and I tell people 5 minutes a day, just start with 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week, just to get started. If that's all you can do, that's fine. But if people are willing to come together, we can make a tremendous, and I could tell you stories of how this thing has been pushed back for decades because they wanted to be much further along, but people have been pushing back. But you know what, guys, I have to go. I got a phone call coming in about 2 minutes.
Okay.
That I have to take. But so I've got to run. Thank you, Hans, so much. Peter, very nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Marie, thank you for exposing Morgellons and all the work that you do, and hopefully we'll be able to meet again.
Yes, of course. Okay. Thank you also so much for your time, and yeah, see you again very soon. Anyway, in 10 minutes the live stream will be over because this is the time limit here. So, Russ, have a great day, and thank you for being here.
Bye bye, Russ. Thank you.
Bye, Russ.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye, guys.
Yep.
Power to the people. Keep up the good fight.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Keep on the good work. Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
24. It's like my oldest son.
Oh, okay. Great
I have
your
one
husband.
son, 20 year, and one son who is 24. He will be 25.
No daughters?
2 sons.
No daughters? No?
No
Why not?
daughters.
Oh, no Swedish daughters. Oh.
But they have a lot of girlfriends. It was interesting that you said that because we are older. and we can explain, because my sons, they, you know, they have been a trauma what's happened to me for them, and it's very interesting, because all the friends to them, they know about Magellans and, you know, this strange thing, and they have seen me how I changed from, you know, to be a mother with company and you know, look normal, and after all this would happen. So it's interesting, but perhaps I will said to them, Hans, if they can be with us.
Mm-hmm.
For it's good to have the younger people with us. They are the future.
Exactly, you
You,
named it. They are the future. I mean, life is going on this planet, and we have to get our lives back. We have to think about
To,
the next generations. It's not just about us. We are already here, and we will die soon. But there are still every day born new people here. You know, no, new babies, new poor souls here, and they have they really have the right to to live in a healthy planet and a good planet. So it's up to us to give them that future. You know. Yeah.
yeah, and that's interesting, because you, yeah, I'm not thinking about that. I know my son sometimes I've listened when I have been on some radio show and talk about Magellans and that, but I think that would be more interesting to really hear how the people like my sons in that age, how they can describe it, because they have been so close and see all strange thing, and also with mind control cemeteries, Magellans, and what happened to us from have a very good life to have this life I have today. And nobody I have heard about the children talks. It's just we. Oh, it's so sorry for me. But you see, no. But in serious, it's should be very. I must ask them.
to make it bluntly, I'm currently member of two organizations. One of them is the Zeitgeist Movement, and the other one is the Venus Project.
For example.
And those two movements and projects are what are keeping me going, because there are so many young people and older people coming together and already talking about all these problems that we are facing in the monetary system. And it's crazy. It's great too, and it's in a innovation. We're like a movement that wants to change the planet. It's already happened, and so there are groups and movements around the world already springing up that want to change our society, our current way of thinking of one another. It's already happening, and I'm proud to call myself a person that advocates the Zeitgeist movement and the Venus Project.
Yeah.
The Venus Project is being still advertised by a man that is, I guess, he's 97 right now,
Mm-hmm.
and he's still flying around the planet and advocating it, and
Yeah. Jack
he's pretty
Fresco.
much on my Facebook page.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty awesome to have met all of those people through being in the Zeitgeist movement. I was interested in all those conspiracies that are going on,
Exactly.
and it opened my eyes to all of it.
Uh-huh.
If
Yeah.
you would type in the Zeitgeist movement on Google, it would really spark an interest. I would say to people who don't know it yet, Hans,
Yes. Yes.
it would
Yes.
really
Yeah. This
it
is
would
also
really
what I'm.
spark interest, because
Yeah.
it's a multilinguistic thing. There are chapters in every nation on this
Exactly.
planet already, and
Yeah.
that is the greatest thing that I have
Yeah.
found out. And it's great to be living in such a period of this world where we know that revolution is just around the next corner, and it's not a violent revolution as we expect it to be. It's not like we are the people with the hay forks. We storm the castle and kill the king.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how it's going to be. It's going to be anonymous. And I really contribute much of my work to anonymous. The biggest things that I really see is the danger of government having the power that anonymous has, and pretty much the think tanks of the government secret societies like the CIA and the FBI. They are pretty much the dangerous thing that could ever happen to, yeah, us the people. Because when a government is in power of a tool that can shut down nuclear facilities with a button, push of a button, uh, thousands of kilometers away, and that kind of pulls the string of World War III coming very close to existing. And myself, living in the time of so much empathy being brought forward in this world is amazing, and it touches me so much that to see destruction and rebuilding and destruction and rebuilding all over again. I thought we learned in the talks about what the Nazis did in the concentration camps. I thought we learned that humanity is still amongst us, but I thought I'm thinking right now that that's forgotten. It's all forgotten.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's
It's
bigger
all
now.
gone. It's no. If you look alone at the Zionistic Jew right now, sorry to make it drastic and then use a term that separates more that connects, but Zionistic Jews. There have been Zionistic Jews in the SS, for God's sakes. And there are movies coming out into the mainstream where the mainstream is not bringing them in any commercials in Germany. It's not running in any commercial. It's not running any commercial anywhere in Europe, I guess, only viral internet. And it's called Die Wohnung, The Flat. It's a movie. It's going to shock the world, I guess. That's my guess of this movie. It's a Jewish person who finds out his grandmother died in Germany. He has the apartment and he has to clean it out. He goes over there with his camera and I guess it was a YouTube inspiration video, and he found out that his grandmother was in the SS, signing off for other Jews to be killed.
wow.
And it's a perfide view of reality. It just twists everything in a certain light that no matter what nation you stand for, war never changes. That the cruelty of men has no limits, and every war shows us to newest extent. We go further and we go further. Whatever war that exists, we go further in dehumanization of humans. It's just crazy. We were using uranium shells to bomb factories where baby powder milk is produced. Hello, what the heck? It's not military threat from milk and baby powder. Why do we? I don't get a war industry. It's just crazy. We have no money for education. We have no money for medicine, but we have money for destruction and chaos. I don't get it. It's just
It's unbelievable.
it's a crazy world, and we're all living in it. And as soon as you talk about it, you're stigmatized as being a crazy person because you're talking about it.
Yeah, you look at me. Even if you can see, they when I get sick, that was 5 years ago, and I have a company in that time, and they begin to have sore, and then they said, "Oh, you are depressed, and you have a lot to do, so you make them by yourself." And that was so ironic, and I told him, no, I don't. I know there is something wrong with me. And in that time, I thought I was poisoning. So they think, oh, perhaps she's a little crazy, and I have a long story behind this. But then my hair, I get uh, my hair fall off, and then they said to me, "Oh, but you pull off your hair by yourself." And look at me. Look at me. This is 4.5 years later, and I was 6 months, 8 months ago, and to the same doctor and hospital, and I said to her, "Look at me now. I have no hair. I'm still in the same condition, and blah blah blah." And you know, they don't ignore, but they have no answer. And I said to them, this is crazy. You told me in 5 years ago, 4 years ago, that I pull off my hair by myself. And look at me today. What shall I pull off? That's a little example. It's not important, but I know uh, there is. They know what's going on around, and when I think people who's target like me, and I have a lot of fibers, and I tell them, can you analyze these? And they said, oh no, uh, we have no. I don't know what's name in English. They have no money to do that. And I said, that was a big hospital. And I said, you have no money to analyze my hair from my scalp. And I remember I had my oldest son with me, and he said, I have looked at my mother in 5 years, how she have suffer, and can you not only give her or uh, uh, talk how she go to next step, because she do it. I take care of myself, with my health and that, and they are of medication, and of course medication, psychologic medication. In the first year I was almost crazy because they tried to giving me medication, and in the first year I took them, but after a while I was really crazy, so I stopped with everything. So I just take natural things, except if I have migraine or something. So, but today I'm so angry, and I will really fight for my files, what they have written in my files, because I can really prove today, and I know I can explain everything what happens, and this is the most crazy thing what's happened in my body, and I'm alive, and they will not they will not talk to me. If I was crazy, that of course, but I'm not crazy. I was working so far, so I go to the psychiatrist and tell them to do personality research on me, so I could have in my files that I was not crazy. So I have that also. I'm not crazy. I must go to the doctor by myself and tell them, please, can you do this? And of course, they tried to find some psychological sickness, but they couldn't, except my ADHD, but that is not psychological sickness. But the other one, so for me, it's very good to have that in the files, because the first 3-4 years I fight a lot to tell everybody I'm not crazy, and explain and explain. I knew from the beginning I was not delusional or have some fantasy problem, but I can understand when everything happens, and I have the lights, and I have voice, and I have sore, and lot of strange thing. Of course, if you not know me, then you can think, is this psychologic, or perhaps she's pressed from her work, or something. I can understand that today, but it took me a long time, and also the first 3 years I was like I was drugged. It was not me. It was. It's very strange today that when I sit back and remember every moment and in details, I was on drug, and that's a typical poisoning.
Thank you so much, people, for watching this live stream. I hope it helped a little bit, and feel free to forward this link here on YouTube. And yeah, thank you so much for being there, and we
Below.
will continue. Also, thank you so much, Pete. I will put you here that the people can see you the last seconds here. Pete, keep on moving,
Power
keep
to
on
the people.
moving forward like the last Zeitgeist movie. Give me 5, yeah. That's great. Yeah. And also thank you, Mary, for being here. Your input is always very welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. See you later, and bye bye.